Imagine standing before a wall of stone so thick, no cannon could break it. Imagine towers that touch the clouds, crafted by hands that never saw a machine. How did they do it? How did they build fortresses that could last 1,000 years? Today, we journey back to the birth of these stone giants and uncover the genius, sweat, and dreams behind every block of medieval might. If you love uncovering the secrets of history's greatest builders, make sure to hit subscribe, because what you're about to see will change how you look at stone forever. It begins in a muddy field. The year, 1123. The ground trembles under the weight of oxen dragging timber and stone. A nobleman points to an empty hill, declaring, "Here, my legacy will stand forever." But no blueprint, no cranes, no machines, just men, sweat, and faith. Castle building wasn't just architecture. It was a declaration of power, a message carved into the earth. I will not fall. Every fortress was a monument to human endurance and human genius. The secret of castle building wasn't brute force. It was balance, geometry, and genius. Builders used nothing but wooden frames, ropes, and their eyes. Yet they achieved mathematical perfection. Every stone had its place. One wrong angle, and the tower would collapse. They created foundations that went deep into the bedrock, knowing that if the earth moved, their fortress would stand. They designed archways that carried massive weights with grace, and spiral staircases that twisted clockwise to favor the right-handed defenders above. It was art meeting physics, centuries before physics had a name. But behind every masterpiece was a price, one paid in blood and toil. Hundreds of workers, from blacksmiths to stonemasons, labored for decades. Many never lived to see the castle completed. They carved through winter frost, endured collapsing scaffolds, and lifted stones heavier than horses by hand. Yet, when you touch the walls today, you touch their hands, their breath, their lives sealed in the mortar. This was more than construction, it was devotion. After months of planning, one moment changed everything: the laying of the first stone. It was both ceremony and sacrifice. Priests blessed the ground. The Lord knelt in silence. And as that first block touched the earth, a new fortress was born, destined to outlive them all. That single stone carried the weight of dreams, ambition, and immortality. And from it, an empire of stone began to rise. Next, we'll uncover the hidden innovations, the genius designs that made these fortresses indestructible. Before we climb higher into the towers of medieval genius, don't forget to subscribe, because what's coming next will change the way you see castles forever. From the first stone to the rising walls, medieval builders turned sweat into strength. But the true genius of their craft wasn't just in the stone you could see. It was hidden within the walls, beneath the earth, and above the towers. This is where human ingenuity met divine ambition. Let's open the fortress and step inside the mind of a medieval engineer. Every castle was a puzzle. One wrong move, and centuries of effort could crumble. But medieval engineers were more than builders. They were mathematicians, scientists, and artists, long before those titles even existed. They used plumb bobs and sighting rods to achieve precision that rivals modern tools. They knew how to test the strength of limestone and granite by sound, tapping each stone and listening for its voice. A dull thud meant weakness. A sharp ring meant endurance. This was a language of stone, and only a few could speak it. Nowhere was their genius clearer than in the arch, the soul of medieval architecture. Before the arch, buildings collapsed under their own weight. After it, cathedrals soared, and castles stood unshakable. The secret was simple yet divine: distribute the weight. Instead of fighting gravity, they learned to dance with it. The curved stone took the pressure and channeled it sideways, down to the foundations. It was engineering poetry, stone that floated. Each arch required perfect symmetry. A millimeter off, and it could all collapse. And yet, some of those arches still hold after 900 years. The walls of a fortress weren't just defenses. They were masterpieces of layered design. What looked like solid stone was actually a complex sandwich of rubble, lime mortar, and cut rock, each layer absorbing shock from catapult strikes. Some walls were 15 feet thick, with hidden chambers, tunnels, and even drainage systems to keep the fortress dry. Engineers thought of everything. even where the rain would fall, how sound would echo, and where shadows could hide archers. This was warfare turned into architecture, and architecture turned into survival. Even the humble drawbridge was a marvel. It wasn't just a gate, it was a machine of balance and counterweight. Engineers used wooden gears, pulleys, and chains that could lift tons of oak and iron with just a few men. Every creak, every groan of the drawbridge was perfectly calculated. And when enemies stormed the gates, one pull of the lever could decide life or death. Behind every fortress was one mind, the master builder. He was part artist, part scientist, and part magician. His name rarely survived history, but his work did. Each castle was his signature, carved into the landscape forever. Their genius shaped not only stone, but time itself. Their fortresses became our museums, our dreams, our stories. If you're still watching, you're one of the few who truly love history. So don't forget, subscribe, like, and share this journey. The next chapter brings the castle to life. By now, the walls stand tall. The towers watch the horizon. The drawbridge creaks. The fortress is alive. But inside these stone walls beats a heart, a world filled with laughter, fear, and dreams. A castle was more than just an invention of stone. It was a living kingdom. Let's walk through its gates and step into a single day inside a medieval fortress. The day begins before sunrise. The blacksmith's hammer echoes through the courtyard, sparks flying into the cold air. Servants carry water from the well. Children chase chickens between the stables. The smell of bread rises from the kitchen fires. The Lord's banner unfurls above the keep, a sign that the master is awake. The fortress stirs with purpose. Every person, every sound, every task is part of an ancient rhythm, a heartbeat that's lasted centuries. Within these walls, hierarchy ruled. The lord in the tower, the soldiers in the barracks, the cooks in the kitchens, all bound together by stone and duty. At the heart of the fortress lies the great hall, the throne room, courtroom, and banquet chamber all in one. Here, justice is spoken and alliances are forged. Beneath the glittering chandeliers of torchlight, the Lord receives his guests, knights, merchants, and messengers from distant lands. But power is fragile. Every smile hides strategy. Every toast hides suspicion. Behind the music of lutes and laughter, whispers of betrayal linger. The great hall wasn't just a symbol of might. It was the stage for ambition. But life in a fortress was never peaceful for long. Beyond those stone walls lay a world of war. Scouts rode day and night, watching for enemy banners. When the alarm bells rang, everything changed. Arrows were counted, boiling oil heated. Children herded into the chapel. From the highest tower, flags of warning unfurled like thunder in the wind. The castle that once sang with laughter now beat like a drum of fear. And when the siege came, stone became shield, and engineering became survival. Even after centuries, these castles still stand, their walls scarred, their stones weathered, yet unbroken. They have seen kings fall, kingdoms fade, and wars forgotten. Why did they last? Because they were built not only with stone, but with purpose, the belief that some things were worth enduring. The builders may be gone, but their dreams echo in every arch, every tower, every shadow. When you walk through one today, you don't just walk through history. You walk through the living memory of human genius and resilience. A fortress is more than walls. It's the story of what humans can achieve when faith, art, and engineering unite. It's proof that greatness doesn't need machines, only imagination, courage, and time. So the next time you see a castle standing tall against the wind, remember, it was built by hands that dared to dream in stone. Studio Microphone. If you felt this journey as deeply as we have, hit subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who loves history. Let's keep the stories of human brilliance alive.